Let's see which video our subscribers choose. How to teach a dog not to bark. Subscribers, have you lost your mind? Why do you need a dog if it won't bark?
Вот это поворот!
Let's talk about where the barking came from. We can note that most canine animals do not use barking. Neither wolves, nor foxes, nor coyotes or jackalers use barking. Sometimes used, but very rarely. But dogs bark constantly. Why so? Some scientists believe that barking in the language of communication of dogs appeared as a way of communication with humans. I mean, the dog gives a person some information by barking about danger, about some stranger, etc. Even today, dogs are used as alarms. In the villages, dogs are appreciated, which warm the owners with their voice that someone has come. They constantly bark at any stimulus, any noise. Some breeds of the dogs are synonymous with barking. It is impossible to stop them from barking because they are made for it.
Мусити замовчати, тому що це у них в крові. Вони створені для того, щоб лаяти. І коли ми заводимо...
And when we get such a dog, we must understand that it will bark. And maybe this barking does not fit into our lives, but some dogs cannot be forced to live, walk, and just be silent all the time. It can only be in your imagination or in your dreams, but not in real life. Friends, I'm very interested. Tell us how you managed to stop your dog from barking. Please write a comment, and if you are new to this channel, subscribe and don't forget to like. Different breeds of dogs have different styles of barking, and I can even tell through the fence what kind of dog there is. Among the loudest breeds are German Shepherds, Mongrels, various small breeds of dogs such as Chihuahua, Terriers, and others. These dogs bark at everything they see or hear. We found out the barking is normal and should not be blocked. But if you don't want your dog to be too noisy, we can change his behavior in a certain way. Form a dog from childhood so that it does not bark at any stimulus. The first thing we need to understand that the dog needs to be trained both mentally and physically. It has to walk outside a lot. Walks should be interesting, then the dog doesn't go crazy, like the one who always sits at home locked up. The second is that you shouldn't reinforce barking. You may not even notice how you react incorrectly when the dog barks. When a dog wants something, it tells you with its voice. You pay attention to it, start talking to it. When a dog barks behind the fence, he gets pleasure because the stranger leaves. Next, we can show the dog that we are not satisfied when it barks in a certain situation. We can say, "Hey, I don't like it, stop it." And in this situation, we have to show the dog an alternative behavior, like if I don't want you to bark, what do I want you to do? I want you to sit quietly, and we can teach a dog to behave in a certain way in certain situations. We can reward the dog if he behaves correctly. Let's imagine how most people trying to stop a dog from barking. For example, Someone's come to you, knocks on the door, and your dog start barking. And you start talking to him, trying to calm him down, but the dog ignores you and continue to bark. And at this moment, you are not ready to respond correctly. The dog is excited, focused on stimulus and does not hear you. What should be done? You need to understand that the problem exists and you need to prepare for such a situation. You know that someone will come to you. You first take the dog on a leash, prepare a treat, and when the guest is about to ring or knock on the door, your dog is already with you. When the dog starts barking at the stimulus, you tell him, "No, stop barking," and tell him to sit. If the dog sit down and stop barking, be sure to reward him with a treat. Encourage with your voice a good boy, well done, and time after time you need to work out such a situation. When someone came to you or another situation in which your dog barks, that is, there must be control, there must be a leash and a reward if the dog is doing well. Very often you don't notice the good behavior of the dog. If the dog wants something, he sits quietly and you ignore it because it's okay. Then he starts to demand it from you, starts to bark, and only then do you pay attention to him. You are trying to calm the dog, make him be silent, and you ignored the behavior that should have been reinforced. So, when the dog is silent, sits quietly, you need to support him. Super, a good boy. When the dog loses control, we show that we are angry. Sum up this video. First, you need to train your dog enough to keep it from going crazy. Emotion often comes out as a sound. If the dog cannot realize his energy and needs, physically run, play, walk, and it all comes out of him with his voice. So you need to use this energy in a useful way. Second, certain situations in which you are not satisfied with the dog, you must work out from childhood and show the dog how he should behave in this or that case. Third, do not reinforce barking with your reaction, but rather show the dog that this behavior will not lead to success, and you get angry when he barks at the wrong time.
Починає лаяти в непідходящій ситуації.